Surprising things seem to continue to happen to me. So let me just talk about two of them that happened to me this summer while I was on holiday in Greece. We arrived late at night, so the following day, the first full day that we had, we spent going around the Acropolis, the absolutely amazing temple of Athena, the Parthenon, which has been in the process of being rebuilt since the 1990s. It's a very powerful experience being in the presence of these columns that have been around for not hundreds but thousands of years, and the presence of Athena is still very, very tangible there, despite being overrun with tourists, naturally, as you might expect. Very, very hot temperatures. We had 37 degrees Celsius. That's 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. And so with such a blazing sun, you can imagine how glad I was to have my trusty pair of sunglasses. I normally spend most of my time indoors, poring over books, sitting at my desk, and so naturally I've become quite photophobic. And so going outside without some good quality sunglasses is actually quite painful for me. I also bought a fancy white Greek trilby hat to keep the sun off my head. Unfortunately, the combination of sunglasses and the hat didn't work very well together, since I normally put my sunglasses on my head when I'm not using them, when I'm indoors, for example. And so having a hat on my head, of course, made that quite impossible. And so I thought I'd be clever and balanced those glasses on my hat. Well, that was going to be fine if I didn't have a young child with me. It didn't take very long for my son to knock those glasses off the hat and onto the floor where one of the lenses fell out. Well, I pushed the lens back in as best I could and went about my day. The next morning we went out for breakfast, and once again sitting out on the terrace of this lovely cafe, sipping iced coffees and eating baklava, my glasses once again find themselves knocked to the ground. This time the screw comes out, making it actually impossible to put the lens back in. I spend a little time looking for the screw and eventually find it after about, 2 or 3 minutes of searching. It's a tiny, tiny screw. And so I pop it into my wallet for safekeeping inside a receipt, and then start looking for a hardware store, which we find within seconds, actually. We were just very, very close to one. I managed to buy a set of screwdrivers, those little tiny screwdrivers for glasses. And I make my way back to the cafe to sit down at a table and start putting the screw back into my glasses. Well, within seconds, the screws slipped from my fingers and has bounced off the table and back onto the floor. I get down on my hands and knees, and 15 minutes later, I still haven't found this screw. I'm thinking to myself, I'm wasting all this time. I'm here in Athens. I should be enjoying the views. I should be doing the things we came here for, not searching for a silly screw. Forget about the sunglasses. My time in Athens is more important than a pair of sunglasses. So with a heavy heart, I get up off my hands and knees, dust myself off, and we go about our day. We have a lovely time visiting the Roman Agora and then the ancient temple of Zeus. I buy some cheap sunglasses to keep the sun off my face, but it's so hot that this nasty black plastic just feels like it's melting on my face and I can't stand it, so I just leave those in my bag, actually. And little by little I get used to the sun and it's not so bad. I replace my Greek trilby hat with a baseball cap that I actually came with that really keeps the sun off my eyes. And off we go to Delphi. And in Delphi, oh my goodness, what an extraordinary place. Of course, it's the location of the ancient temple of Apollo, the god of the sun and of health and of divination. And I can tell you, with those kinds of temperatures, the god of the sun certainly made his presence felt. Now, I was there with a group of friends and my wife and my son, and they actually got quite tired towards the end of the day. So when the time came to go to the temple of Athena Pronaya, which I have to say is probably one of the most spectacular sights that the whole of Greece has to offer, they decided that they'd let me go on my own. There was no way I was going to miss this, so of course I went on my own. I walked down to the temple itself with this blazing sun still beating down on me, and it's absolutely amazing. I'm actually the only person there. Maybe all the tourists had left by that time, I'm not sure. It was around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so really the sun was at its hottest. You have all these cicadas making this incredible sound, really very, very loud chirping. I'm just walking down this quite steep dirt track down to the temple, and I reach it, and it's the most beautiful sight, the most serene, gorgeous sight you can imagine. And I read that this temple used to be dedicated to the goddess Gaia herself, and that it was only later that it was repurposed to the worship of Athena. And just the holiness of this location is just so tangible, I feel compelled to leave some kind of offering. And I'm thinking to myself, what can I possibly leave here that won't ultimately just be pollution? And I look around and there's actually a little puddle of water, and I'm thinking to myself, how can a puddle of water have ended up here? It is literally burning hot temperatures. It's most certainly not been raining. I can't see any kind of water fountain or any tap or any source of water anywhere nearby. And that's when it occurs to me, this is probably what I have on me right now, which is most precious at this moment. Water. I've got a bottle of water. It's 3/4 drunk already. So just a little bit of water left. I know I've got the whole of the return trip back to the hotel yet to manage that I'm going to have to walk. That's what I can leave. I can leave a little bit of water. So I get out my bottle of water and I unscrew it and I pour out a good healthy portion of water onto the ground as an offering. And immediately a fly comes up to my head and starts buzzing around my ears, just attacking both of my ears, just one after the other, left, right, left, right. Very, very strange. And I kind of, okay, don't like this very much. And I screw the top back onto the bottle and start getting away from there. Looking back on it now, I can tell you exactly what it felt like. It felt like the fly was checking out where my sunglasses should have been sitting. I honestly paid it no more mind until we eventually got back to Athens a couple of days later. We had a lovely time exploring the ancient agora, definitely far more impressive than the Roman agora, and also the Acropolis Museum. And just as an aside here, this is where the original caryatids are kept. The ones that are displayed at the Acropolis itself are actually reproductions. But I wonder if I'm the first person to have spotted that mark on the caryatid's forehead. It's probably nothing. Anyway, come evening, I hop into a tourist shop. I know that my sister has got this story going on with a little owl that was given to her when she was visiting Greece as a child. And so I wanted to find her an Athena owl as a magnet. And I found the perfect one. And so I take it to the till and I take out my card to pay. And the guy at the till says, I'm sorry, we can't take a card for less than 15 euros. So I start rummaging in my wallet to see if I've got the 2 euros necessary to pay for the magnet. And something just registers, only just for a fraction of a second. And then the guy behind the till says, oh, maybe we can take a card after all. So I take my card out and I give him the card and pay for the magnet with a card after all. And go about our evening. And we have very nice dinner. We have Greek salad and moussaka and all these delicious Greek foods. And it's actually on the way home that something clicks in my head and I think to myself, wait a minute, what did I see in my wallet earlier on? And my face must have been quite a picture because everyone turned to me and said, Denny, are you all right? And I said, yeah. I just want to make sure that the thing that I think I saw is in fact reality. I just want to make sure that I haven't dreamt this, okay? So let's get back to the flat and I want to sit down. I think something very strange has happened. So we get back to the flat and I open my wallet and I have a look inside and no, I must have been dreaming. And people are like, what do you think you've seen? And I was sure that I saw the screw from my sun and there it was. There it was. It was actually in the receipt, in the original receipt that I had placed it in. I can't explain it. I have no idea how it happened. I have no idea. But that was the freakiest thing that's happened to me this month. For sure. There we are. That's my first story of what happened to me during my holidays in Greece. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'll tell you more about some very strange happenings in Greece in my next video, which will happen in a couple of weeks' time. And yeah, thank you so much to all my members that you can see scrolling over there to the left of the screen. A huge thank you to you, because without your support I would never have been able to go over to Greece to experience these wonderful things. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Do leave a comment if something similar has ever happened to you, and check out the details, the description of the video to find out more about my channel. Thanks so much for watching, and see you very soon.